Nowadays, conflict in the organization is unavoidable and will always be a cure in the organization across the world. Hence, conflict can be defined as a continuous dispute between parties who hold values or belief that are fundamentally opposed from one another person. Hence, conflict in the workplace or organization resulted in disagreement between individuals or groups due to different opposed to needs, ideals, belief, value, and many more towards some things. Hence, if the conflicts in the organization does not be managed well by the organizations, a lot of negative impacts that will happen. One in which causes is the reduce of productivities and members leaving the organizations and many more. The case study of Telestar International was started when the Department of Energy Resource had granted Telestar the contract that cost $475,000 on 15 November 1978. The purpose of the contract was to develop and testing the two ways of treatment plants under the Telestar Research and Development. Activity has been also provided an opportunity for them to involve in a new field. However, the problem started when the corporate manager of the Telestar used their own funds of $400,000 in order to compensate the bid of the contract negotiated using the firm fixed price. The cost of the project were increased by 15 February 1979 to make the expected cost to completing the project has become into $943,000. Hence, this problem has causes the project manager to decide to stop all of the activities on certain functional department, which was the structural analysis. The structural manager processed the decision as we believe there would be a major construction failure if the analysis was not being carried out. Plus, the department was performing on schedule within the budget of the allocations that has been given to the department. The failure of the project will affect the integrity of his department. However, the project manager insists to stop all the activities at the risk that expenses will be increased. Therefore, this has causes the water waste treatment project explode during the test. So, who is at fault? First of all, the top management. In the case study, the top manager of the Telestar International and the project manager should be put on the blame. This is because the progress of the project was poorly planned. It was stated that the negotiations of the project using the firm fixed price, which costed around $475,000, is later on shows that the company underestimated the project, which caused them to fund the project using their own money. They added $400,000 from their own fund for the overall funding of the project that has becoming $875,000, which is more expensive than the original price. The company of the Telestar should not be underestimated the project. This is because they did not have a solid experience in developing and testing of the two waste treatment plants. Their attempt in the venture into the new field was only based on the faithful but not based on the careful plan and clear approach. The top management had neglected the risk of the management process during the design of their plan. They should have investigated or run an intensive research in order for the plan to run properly. This will help them to able to recognize the potential risks and the problem that will arise during the project was being implemented. Secondly, the project manager. The project manager should be put on the blame. This is because he underestimated the opinion that has been appointed by the structure manager. He should be negotiate the structure manager opinion. This is because the structure manager has more experience in analyzing the project. Besides that, the project manager along with his team had failed to help the top management to prepare a detailed risk of a breakdown structure that has been helping to identify as many possible risks and problems. In this case, the risk of the cost overrun would be identified before the project has been started if the project was planning executed with cautions and well-intensive research. Should the structure manager have been dedicated enough to continue the work on its own? The answer is no. The structure manager is not supposedly to continue the project as its own. According to the case study, the structure manager helped to assist the project manager to achieve the objective of the project. It is a new project for the Telestar after it was successfully developed the water waste treatment technology for the past 2 years. Suddenly, the top management makes the decision to cut down the cost for the project. After the project manager stopped the project to receive the orders from the top management, he did not want to risk the cost outrun of the project. Hence, the structural analysis department was shocked when they received the news. They did not get any justifies about how their budget has been cut off. This sudden decision makes the structure manager worried about his employee. On the other hand, it will also affect his department integrity. But however, unfortunately, he was not being able to complete the project due to the overhead budget. It might cause us many problems in the structural manager. Can functional manager who consider his organization as strict support should still be dedicated to total success? According to the case study, I think the functional manager should be dedicated in total project success. As the functional manager, he should know that the team works united to perform their project to be success. It is important to build team spirit and develop a better environment in the working place. As we all know, project manager performed by the organization has its own strengths and weaknesses. Therefore, it is important to have proper communication skills along with the right organization structure in every company to ensure the balance between the strengths and weaknesses in the project to handle by the project manager and functional manager. The organization should know that every project can be either success or failure. Hence, the functional manager should be the one who support and dedicate the project to be success. From this case study, we can see the failure happens due to the project manager have lack of acknowledgements in the project. Moreover, in the case study, the structure manager has already given advice and tried to best to convince the project manager that there will be a lack of structure. The structure manager is one of the managers of the department functions. His department is one of the most assisted in this project. Therefore, the structure manager knows well about the structure that has been implemented and the planning that can be bring to the success of the project. In conclusion, we know that the project manager and the functional manager must work together and always communicate with each other to deliver their opinions and discussions to provide the best solutions to solve the problems in together. Therefore, when working on proper communications, it will build a team spirit and a positive environment that can help the project to be success. So what are the causes of failure? First of all, poor decision making by the management. Before starting the project, a discussion must be done to proceed with decision making. Every point of view from the other's consideration should be taken consideration under the budget. According to the case study, there might not be the discuss of the budget that was supposed to be spent on this project. This shows that the case study of the Telestar International have faced the overrun budget during the project. Therefore, the project manager assumed that the analysis of the new project was not necessary to be done, as it was similar to the past tests that had been conducted in the organizations. However, sometimes relying on the past experience is dangerous, as the experience that during the test conducted is not similar on the current situation of the project. Secondly, competency issue. A successful project is the project that fulfills all the competencies required. Project manager competency are important as would include the knowledge skills and the importance such as experience. Therefore, before the project is started, the leader or the sponsor needed to know the competency of the particular organizations or contractor. It will ensure the project will manage well and successful. In the case study, it is stated that the Telestar has problem with man-hour standard. Before awarding the Telestar with the contract, the Department of Energy and Resource needed to do a survey and a history to the contractor, especially on the past history, competency and experience of the contractor. Hence, besides that, the project manager plays a vital role in the project. Therefore, when a project is a success, it is because the project manager. The project manager needs to have the essential project and management competency. Thirdly, no proper assessment were made in the organizations. When there is no proper assessment made, the project will be not able to be completed successfully. The proper assessment is also required for competency and assessment that we needed to competencies such as skills, knowledge, and attitude towards apply in professional life. According to the Telestar case study, they completed the two-ways treatment using the low budget. Telestar wanted to gain higher profit but also wanted to ensure the lower budget is completed in the project. Their confidence in using a lower budget can make the water plant treatment plants project unsuccessfully. This related to the various explanations that of the cause of the failure, which then they relying on the past experience. Thus, the lack of competency is also the main reason. Thus, they are using the low budget without proper assessment, hence causes the project to be failed. There are several case similarity with the Telestar International case study. First of all, the Sultan Mizan Zainal Zaidin Stadium roof collapse, which happens in Kuala Terengganu 2009. Under the case study written by Fatli Ali Gul, This case study is about the safety issues regards on the failure construction project. This happens in 2009 when half of the roof of the stadium are collapsed, and only 5 workers were injured during the incidents. However, there are several cars parked outside the stadium was completely destroyed, and this incident has disturbed the people because the failure of this project would harm many people in the stadium, hence many visitors in the stadium. Hence, there are many factors that we can see from the failure of construction, and these issues include the mistake of design level, inappropriate choice of materials, incompetency of the staff, and lack of equality of the aspect of supervisions. And according to the M-Star online news, in this case study of the roof collapse, the staff who were hired for the construction is lack of skill and knowledge of the structure of the roof and buildings. Same case with the Telestar Internationals, which is the staff is lack from the express worker from the responsibility to handle this project. The similar second case study is the Highlands Tower collapse. Under the article Tragic Story of Malaysian, written by Fatli Ali Gul and also Wahyu Rahman, this tragic happens in Malaysia in 1993. The main reason for this incident is happened due to adequate of drainage. This tragic happens when one of the blocks in Highlands Tower collapsed, causes the death of 48 deaths. Hence, report provided by the Jafar said that there are several factors that lead to these incidents, one in which is the improper drainage system and lack of maintenance of the system drainage. Moreover, the contractor of the Highlands Tower is also responsible for this tragic because of their careless in work. As we can see, in this case similar to the Telestar Internationals, which is the workers have lack of acknowledgement and does not make the clear research before starting the project and have lack of communication between workers. Lesson learned from the case study. The execution planning of the process should be done carefully. This is because the project had a good planning will be able to be completed according to the schedule and within the budget. They will also be able to recognize the problem that could happen when they implemented the project. Then, we should be able to recognize our own weaknesses in the planning project. This will help us to be prepared facing the risk and the problem that might occur. We'll be able to recognize and find the solutions for those problems before it happens again. After that, we should consider other opinion in decision making. This is because it will help us to unable to make decision with many choices and handle the problem in various ways. Through discussion, also help us to be able to make better decision in solving the problems. Lastly, we should take other incentive to learn from the other's company in order to make the other plan. This will make us to able to learn from the mistake and also most importantly if we wanted to enter into a new field. Therefore, we can get the important information from our project by analyzing the work from the others company that had the same fields and also same problems. In conclusion, we agree that the project manager is the blame for the failure of the waste treatment plant project to be explored and failed. This is due to the underestimate and the lack of negotiations and communications between the structure manager and the top management. Hence, in the case study, it shows that how important to have a clear structure of plannings and conflict management skills and decision making in an organizations. Therefore, the overall case study shows a good examples to all the project companies in every industry on how important is it to have a clear structure, conflict management skills, and also decision making in the organizations, no matter how big and small your company is. Hence, this case study shows a very good example of human error in the future project development around the world.